Hey, thanks so much for tuning into the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. Today is Motivational Monday. If you happen to miss the service yesterday, I started a brand new series at Shrewsbury Assembly called Acceptable Sins. What are the sins that we tolerate? What are the sins that we feel like are okay? But in God's eyes, a sin is a sin. And we've chosen to accumulate these acceptable sins because we have compared our own sins and justified them with other people and said, well, at least I'm not doing that, so I'm okay. And yesterday we talked about idolatry. And we talked about how idolatry is anything that we place in front of God. It's not just worshiping an idol or like a carved image, but it's really today, think about that. Have you put anything in front of God? If you have, even if it's a good thing like a career, your relationship, a family, whatever it may be, if you're putting that in front of God, that is your idol. A big thing also we'll talk about later this week is an idol can be yourself. You can be the biggest, you can be worshiping yourself and putting that in front of God. And I want to encourage you to understand the truth of the gospel, because we can easily drift from it. And that is what our verse exactly says. Hebrews 2, verse 1. So we must listen very carefully to the truth we have heard, or we may drift from it. See, if we're not in his word, naturally, we're going to be away from it. Naturally, the standards, his leading, we're going to go away from it because naturally we're going to want what's best for us. But let me give you some piece of advice right here. God has what's best for you. And he knows your tomorrow. He knows your next month. So let's put our faith, our security, our dependence on the one who knows tomorrow. Because if we rely on ourselves, we're limited because we don't know our tomorrow. And so let's humble ourselves and let's not stray away from the truth. Let's understand what the truth is, because when we do, then we won't drift from it. Because our culture and what was unacceptable in today's culture is now acceptable. I mean, things are constantly changing, but what doesn't change is the truth of the gospel. So for Motivational Monday, for today, let's understand and let's focus on the truth that does not change. Word of God says that Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So let's not put our dependence on something that is constantly changing, like our culture. And do we really want to put our faith and trust in our culture today? Let's understand the truth so we don't drift from it. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for another Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth.